From Careco TV, one of the longest-running outdoor programs on television today. Exploring the country and the coast in search of adventure. From the mountains of the Great Northwest to the shores of the Atlantic Ocean, this is Americana Outdoors, presented by Garmin. Welcome to Americana Outdoors, presented by Garmin. This week, we're letting you in on why FLW and Elite Series pros are now putting their trust in Garmin when they're on the water. Then we're meeting up with Clark Wendlandt and Wade Middleton as they time things just right on Lake Somerville in Texas. But first, we're heading to Kentucky Lake for the largest collegiate bass fishing series event. Welcome to Paris Landing on the shore of Kentucky Lake, Paris, Tennessee, for the 6th annual Cabela's Big Bass Bash, presented by Berkeley. 436 anglers representing 78 colleges and universities from around the country have made the trip to Tennessee to fish at one of the most anticipated events in collegiate fishing.
You know, it's exciting. I hear we've got over 400 kids here, and this kind of tournament excites me. As I've said before, you know, the opportunity to catch just one bass, right? It's kind of a team, but also an individual effort is a pretty cool concept.
It's a lot different than most of the tournaments where you're looking for 5 and kind of changes your mindset, but it's a good tournament to come to.
Now, as the name implies, the Cabela's Big Bass Bash, presented by Berkeley, is a big fish tournament. Anglers have 4 individual sessions on each of the 2 days to weigh their biggest catch.
635, 635.
It's all about just that one fish. You don't have to go in there and snatch out 5. I mean, it's just one fish. You win the whole thing, you know.
It's kind of neat because if you're not on fish, you can still go out there and catch one big fish and be right back in it.
Each session pays down 10 places, and with more than $30,000 in prizes available, well, anglers will have a lot of opportunities to take home some great prizes from the sponsors.
Well, I'll tell you what, what's really been cool to watch is the growth of this event. I think when we first started doing this, there was maybe 100 or 150 boats. And from my understanding this year, that the growth of the field has gone up to almost 200, maybe even more boats. So that is fantastic that these guys can put on an event that attracts that many of the top college anglers from all around the country.
You know, we're all competitors. We all have the same love of the sport, and it's a cool kind of family that, you know, I always thought that college fishing would be. I've made some of the best friends of my life doing this, and I had never fished from a boat till I got to Clemson, and I joined the team, and tournaments like this gives us an opportunity to go travel across the country and make lifelong bonds that I know that I'm just thrilled to have.
I told my mom when I was in freshman year of high school that I was leaving her. I was going down south and doing the college fishing. And senior year came around and I said, no, I'm serious.
713, no big fish.
Well, we came to the lake. We have no practice on the lake, and we just went out junk fishing. And this morning, my cousin Corey, up in heaven, gave us a good sign, and I followed it, and we went straight across the creek. And I told my partner, Corey just gave me a sign to go right here. And with my second cast, I got over a 7-pounder and took first place. So it was a great feeling.
Although the Big Bass Bash is an individual event, there's a lot more up for grabs. Do well here, and you can increase your team ranking in the overall School of the Year points race. Coming into Kentucky Lake, Georgia College has a nearly 50-point lead over the rest of the field.
And to be sitting first over all these, you know, D1 schools that get a lot more funding and stuff that we get, and it's kind of set in, but it kind of hasn't. We've been getting a lot of publicity, local publicity, and it's really starting to grow our club. A lot of people are starting to hear and find out about it that didn't previously know about it. And we're getting some high school kids, you know, interested in going to Georgia College for our team. So hopefully it's going to grow our team, and we actually doubled our team this year from last year. So hopefully we'll be able to double it again next year.
The sport of collegiate fishing is going into its 2nd decade and still growing. What started in 2005 with around 20 schools and a handful of tournaments has evolved into more than 40 events annually, with participation from 340 colleges and universities clubs from across the country.
It's had a tremendous growth over the last several years, and I think more kids are seeing that college fishing is an opportunity for them to enjoy something that they like to do and represent their school at the same time.
Looky here, folks. First 8-pounder, 835 right there.
My favorite thing about the event is just watching the excitement in the kids' faces when they're bringing that big bass and when that one weigh in. It's just exciting to see kids in general out in the outdoors and not sitting there looking at their phones and on the computer all the time. It's just a great feeling to have them in our community. We look forward to it every year.
A big thanks to the folks in Paris, Tennessee for hosting the Cabela's Big Bass Bash, presented by Berkeley for the 3rd year in a row. If you'd like to see complete coverage of this event, check your local listings for the Collegiate Bass Fishing Tournament Series.
It's in our stomping grounds and our playground. It's in our sights and our commitment. It's in him, it was in them, and it will continue with her. It's in my nature. Is it in yours?
Gill that I've used for the last 5 years has been a far superior product than anything else on the market.
The main thing that's really important to me is me being dry. I've been wearing gill suits now for 3 years and never once have I gotten wet.
What I love about the Bradley Smoker is that it cooks everything perfectly and it holds all the juices in.
So today we are going to be smoking some barbecue ribs, some venison sausage, and some dove, which is awesome.
You will never grill me doves again. I have to have them in the Bradley Smoker. I would prefer to use the Bradley Smoker every time I cooked. Well, that's really true because I love this thing. Okay. No lie. For more recipes, log on to bradleysmoker.com.
Engineered to excel, the Ranger Z500 and Z100 series are built for the ultimate ownership experience. It's a commitment to excellence packed with real-world advantages and exclusive features. Experience the accelerated performance standards of the legendary Ranger Z series. From first light to last cast, they're put together to set you apart. Yamaha Outboards. Reliability starts here.
At Yamaha, reliability is a family tradition. Meet the next generation. 4 new advanced technology-inspired inline 4-cylinder performers. Bred from the reliability and boater satisfaction that is part of Yamaha's DNA. They prove that when power gets lighter, faster, stronger, and smarter, boating gets even better. And more satisfying for boaters like you.
Americana Outdoors, presented by Garmin, is brought to you by Cabela's. It's in your nature. Garmin. Fight your fish, not your fish finder. Ranger Boats. Still building legends one at a time. And by Yamaha Marine. Reliability starts here. Welcome back to Americana Outdoors. Today we're joining some of the fishing industry's top pros, and they show us what fishing with Garmin is all about.
Boy, it is cold up here. This water temperature is 48, 50 degrees, and we are at Lake Tenkiller, and we're getting ready to kick off the Garmin media event. We've got some of the biggest names in bass fishing that are part of the Garmin team coming here. It'll be a pretty exciting week. You're going to hear and learn from a lot of guys on how they set up mapping, how they use, the new Panoptics, how they use their sonar in all different kinds of conditions. So we're going to bring you some good tips that's going to help you use your electronics to find more fish.
When I go fishing, I spend a lot of time every year in my boat. So that's kind of my office. And I have a lot of Garmin products that I use on the boat, from 7600 units, 2 7612s, 2 7610s, to the Verb. And the combination of all of those, I can film stuff for social media on the Verb, and it's making it better, it's getting better and better every day. It makes it easier for me, really, to do my job. The Panoptics is something that jumps out in front of people. That's something that's hot and popular right now, everybody wants to talk about. But let's put Panoptics aside and talk about just the features that we have on the units, the clarity. I've had so many guys get in my boat and say, dude, that's a crisp, cool picture. You know, it's just there. You know, and Garmin is getting so strong, and when I first came on board, from then until now, the changes that we've made in a positive manner have been crazy. I mean, it's whenever you take a company like Garmin and they decide, hey, we want to go after the freshwater market, and I've sat and I've watched the changes, you know, just from, you know, features to units to, you know, to Panoptics. And one of the things I use as a professional angler is, you know, the max depth lakes. These are the lakes that the survey crew is going back over and surveying, and we're getting these high, you know, quality maps that are 1 foot contours that are really, you know, if it's in the lake, it's on the map. And the lakes that they have surveyed, the max depth, I mean, there's no comparison from their mapping to anyone else's. We just came out with Panoptics, I mean, a year or so ago, and we kind of blew the fisherman's mind. You know, we put something out there, and I know right now that the engineers back at Garmin are working on something better and something for next year. So we're always changing, and not only, you know, from Panoptics to the units to the Verb, they're always going to be a step ahead, not only of me, but I think of the competition.
Russ, I mean, we talk about mapping and how it's such a big role for people that travel and fish, but it's a big deal for people at home that, you know, fish the same lake over and over. You use it in a lot of different ways. When you use it to go to new lakes, and it makes it almost like you're fishing as a local. You've got, you know, knowledge at your hand that guys have taken 20 and 30 years to get.
Yep. Yeah, when we come into town and guys say, like, how in the world do you find these fish that takes us, you know, our lifetime to find? Well, it's pretty much all the mapping. You know, you can look at it and basically you know pretty much exactly how the lake is laid out. And
now they've got quick draw. You guy can go in the lakes and small lakes, their own, you know, little 500-acre lakes.
Right.
That, you know, not a lot of people, so the average guy can map his own lake.
Yep. Yeah, that's a cool deal. If a guy has a little spot, you know, off on a, you know, on a small lake, or even off in a big lake in the way back in the back of a creek that hasn't been mapped before, he can get on that quick draw deal and map it out himself, and there it is. And
you know, to go in and be able to find those little ledges and save them and go back to them and look at them, it's pretty neat, and it's free. That's the other thing. The guy can just get online and he's got quick draw. I know you're new to the Garmin team right now, Russ, and what's one of the most exciting features that you've seen that's going to help you be more successful?
The Panoptics thing is what's crazy to me. Not so much that I figured out how to catch a whole lot of fish with it, but it's the information that it gives me. I've realized that fish are really curious, and you'll be going down a bank and you can tell what kind of mood each fish is in. I've actually seen where I've had a couple fish come up and look at a bait, and you can actually see all of that go down on the Panoptics, and they not get it and make a color change, and then all of a sudden they start getting it. But without Panoptics, I would have never known that fish were coming up and looking at my bait and not taking it. Another cool thing that I seen a while back, I was on a place and I caught a fish, and as I was reeling that fish in, there was 4 or 5 other fish with it. I knew that there was more fish there, so I cast and cast and cast, knowing that one of those fish would probably get back on that spot. Without seeing that on Panoptics, I would have left that place too early, but I gave it another extra 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden I caught 3 or 4 real quick. So those fish that the Panoptics had showed me got back up there and got on that place, and it definitely helped me catch more fish.
We'll be right back with more Garmin technologies after these messages.
Let's get down to business. Quiet, you sons of fishes. Now, what?
I'm switching sonar.
Why?
Because now I can see fish swimming live in front of my boat. I even see fish attack my lure. Y'all sonar is just history. I'm out.
I'm with him.
put the cool in life. We put the cool in coolers. Arctic Ice.
Bubba Blade, Bubba Blade.
The Bubba Blade is the ultimate sportsman's knife. For fishing,
One cut and you're through, guys, kind of like butter. Just like butter.
hunting,
You can see it just took that right off.
camping, or just carving up meat at the barbecue. If you've got a sportsman in the family, they're going to want to have a Bubba Blade knife. The super sharp edge and the large patented handle that gets sticky when wet makes the Bubba Blade a perfect sportsman's knife. The handle protects your hands from the blade, and the trigger grip and thumb pads let you have total control of the knife. The Bubba Blade comes in different styles and sizes to fit the need of every sportsman. So whether it's for the boat, hunting, camping, or just for slicing meat at a barbecue, the Bubba Blade is the ultimate knife for the sportsman. Go online at BubbaBlade.com to order your Bubba Blade today.
At Amphibia, we've resolved to build a product that nobody else offers, using methods that nobody else is using, optimized for life on water and land. The choice of top bass fishing pros. Amphibia frames are designed to fit comfortably no matter how your face is shaped, to stay firmly in place through your most physical activities, and to float in water. Amphibia sunglasses are truly designed for life on the water.
Heavy duty, rugged, and designed for the big game hunter and angler. The Food Saver Game Saver Titanium Vacuum Sealer has the power and performance to seal in the freshness of your game and fish for up to 3 years, 5 times longer than standard storage methods. And with its extra wide dual and repetitive sealing capabilities, that's a ton of big game savings. Tough tested and rated 4.8 out of 5 stars by outdoorsmen just like you. The Food Saver Titanium System, it's a true game changer.
Americana Outdoors, presented by Garmin, is brought to you by Bradley Smoker, food smoking made easy. Engel Coolers, rugged, durable, high-performance marine coolers. And by Sawyer Products. Sawyer, we keep you outdoors. Welcome back to Americana Outdoors. Today we're at Lake Tenkiller, learning why the pros put their trust in Garmin.
Going down along this bank, it just looks too perfect for there not to be a bass right in this area. That's where your mapping and your sonar really help you find stuff, just where they should be at that time of the year. Water's 52 here. Every place else we've been's been 49, so you know, that just tells me I don't want to be that cold either. I'm a bass. I want to be where it's a little warmer and there's a lot of buffet, and there is a lot of bait right here. Good one too. Come on there, buddy. Tenkiller bass right there. That is fun when they bite that crankbait like that. You got a great bluffy bank. It's just famous for this area being able to catch fish exactly like that along there. And you can use side view and your sonar to kind of come through here and see exactly what you've got in some of these areas to help you find these fish. Let this go. Catch another one.
You know, Garmin Electronics are the most innovative electronic company out there. I stake my career on them because they are the best. You know, Garmin's commitment to the angler is cutting-edge technology. It's staying on top. It's being one step ahead of everybody else. It's the Verb. It's Quick Draw. It's the new mapping. It's Panoptics. You know, you go on Chirp. The way that everything is just so much better, clearer, better technology than everything else. As a tournament fisherman, I want to be on top. I want to take the next step. I always want to be the best that I can be out there on the water. I don't want to be competing against people that have better technology than me. When you're with Garmin, you know you got the best there is out there on the water. Well, the way I use Panoptics is I turn it on when I go fishing and I turn it off when I get done fishing. You know, everything that I see is live from then on out. When you're in shallow water with 2D, you've probably spooked everything that's on top of you. Panoptics, you can sit back and everything that's within a cast length, you can see it in front of you. So it's the thing that I'm most excited about in my fishing career. From here forward, Panoptics, I think, is the future. I think it's the latest and greatest, it's the cutting edge, and it's so far above everything else. I stake my career on my electronics. That's why I'm at Garmin, because of Panoptics. You know, another innovative thing about Garmin, and one that is really cool for a tournament fisherman, is quick draw. You know, with other electronic companies out there, you can go and do your own personal mapping. If you've got a creek or a bay or something that you want a little bit more detail about, or that is not really, you know, on a map anywhere, or maybe a private lake or whatever, you can go and do it yourself, and you can keep that information to yourself. That's just another way that Garmin is just so innovative. Everything that they do, it's cutting edge. It's trying to be on top, and they are.
Coming up next, we'll join Wade Middleton and Clark Wendlandt down in Texas for springtime bass fishing. Hobie kayaks provide the ultimate lightweight fishing platforms that will offer anyone what they want when it comes time to hit the water. Hobie Kayak's commitment to innovation, quality, and owner satisfaction is unparalleled in the industry. So when it's time for you to go kayaking, remember there's only one name to remember, and that's Hobie Kayak.
After all my years of searching, I finally busted the myth of the Yeti! The Engel High Performance Cooler. It's incredible! Just look at this lid. What a powerhouse! It's so freaking strong, so reliable. I just wanna boom! This silicone gasket's better than rubber.
Why, hello there. Are your base and sidewalls way thicker for superior insulation?
Oh, yes! After 10 days, still cold, still fresh. Let's see a Yeti do that. With Engel Coolers, it's official. The Yeti is busted.
When I talk about Sunline, I think of one word: confidence.
Sunline FX2 is what I use for all of my frogging and flipping.
SX1 braid, which braid plays a big part in fishing line. Shooter, I'm going to use in those close quarter deals like flipping and pitching.
One of my favorite techniques in fishing the tournament trail is to fish offshore ledges.
We have taken the questions out of the equation.
Take my word for it. It works. It works, dude.
There's two things between an angler and the fish: the sun and the bugs. Sawyer's line of sunscreens and bug sprays keep you focused on the fish. Sawyer's Stay Put sunscreen formula bonds with your skin for a more comfortable and better level protection. And picaridin insect repellent will only harm the bugs, never your fishing gear. Also, Sawyer permethrin repels and kills on contact over 55 species of insects. You're already outdoors. Sawyer keeps you there.
Americana Outdoors, presented by Garmin, has been brought to you by Hydrowave, ignite a feeding frenzy, Spro, sports professionals, and by Arctic Ice. We put the cool in coolers. Welcome back to Americana Outdoors. We're joining Wade Middleton and Clark Wendlandt on Lake Somerville in Texas for some early spring fishing. One of their absolute favorite times to be on the water, with good reason.
Okay, well, there's an island right there. It's pretty much way over there. I mean, it's about 5 miles probably.
Wade, you see that fish
He came totally airborne.
He did.
Well, that was a pretty good fish.
That was a really good fish.
God. Anyway, personally, I love getting together with Wade and fishing, and we both like the shallow water kind of hand-to-hand combat flipping. It's always something that we both do, and we both enjoy doing it. We like being in the front together. He'll give me just enough room, you know, he makes a flip, and he'll give me enough room where I can make a flip behind him. To me, it's always been a fun day. We've always had fun fishing together. When I went to college at Texas A&M, about 30 miles north of Lake Somerville, Lake Somerville was kind of one of the lakes that you fished when you were at A&M. And I spent a lot of time on this lake. It's an incredibly good white bass fishery. It's got tons of bait in it. They catch a lot of crappie, they catch a lot of catfish here. The bass fishing can be really good. It's always been good over all the years I've fished here when there's enough cover in the water to actually hold those bass. I think the rest of the time there's plenty of bass, but they're out, you know, chasing the schools of bait like white bass do, and they're not in the cover. Right now, you can actually catch them because they're in the cover. You know, and when you see this lake right now, when you're looking at that shallow cover, what you're thinking is that those fish are gonna be, you know, you're either gonna catch them flipping or you're gonna catch them with some kind of weedless bait, like a swim jig, you know, some kind of vibrating swim jig, something that you can actually reel through that cover. You know, the technique we really used today the most was flipping. And when I say flipping, you know, we use fluorocarbon line. Both of us favor fluorocarbon line. I was using a Tournament ZX flipping rod, arachnid reel to really be able to wind that line up fast. And what we notice is when you get a bite in that shallow water, that fish is coming at you really fast. And you need a reel that will wind up and catch up to him. If you don't have that, you're gonna lose some fish during the day.
Little better bass there. Get up here. Son. I like that. Same kind of bite I had on that other one, Clark. I just picked up, just barely there.
You know, as far as the bait selection goes, we're just fishing a small creature bait. For me personally, I'm throwing a Strike King Rage Bug, but just something small, green pumpkin. We also caught some on a swim jig. You know, I threw a frog a little bit, didn't get any bites, but when I picked up that white swim jig, those shad just kept flicking in shallow water. It felt like they should really chase that bait. And we did get some bites on it. It seemed like they started biting better and better as the day went on. And we've seen a lot of little kind of flipping around, and it just seems like, you know, maybe they'll bite a winding bait. We've got a great day for it.
That's the side right there. Hadn't been. He's just scarred up everywhere.
Little bitty one. Little bitty one. Wade catches the good ones.
I've been on the opposite side of this many, many times. Where
and it can always turn.
It turns pretty quick. I've learned enough fishing with you that you don't wake the sleeping monster.
Good fat one. You know, today's actually my birthday. I mean, you know, Wade asked me to come fish. I thought, hey, that would be a great birthday present. He and I get to go out on the lake together, and we'll get to go see if we can catch some fish. And we had a lot of bites today. It was a ton of fun. I love fishing, and it always seems like I get to fish on my birthday.
Now, if you've ever wanted to fish with Clark Wendlandt, now is your chance. You can win a guided fishing trip with a 3-time Angler of the Year and Americana Outdoors staff member, Clark Wendlandt. Americana Outdoors is giving away an all-expense-paid fishing trip in October of 2016 with the legend of the sport for a day of bass fishing that'll be filmed for Americana Outdoors. Visit AmericanaOutdoors.com and sign up to win today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next week. Americana Outdoors is a Careco TV production.